I'm Flying Officer Lee Carruthers and I'm an airfield engineer in the Air Force.
I'm Flying Officer Bryce Harris. I'm also an airfield engineer in the Air Force. We're civil engineers, however we also construct and design rapid airfields for the Air Force. As a qualified airfield engineer, we can from start to finish construct an airfield, not only the airfield itself but the key infrastructure, water, power, sewerage to a camp that could facilitate an expeditionary force. As an airfield engineer on these construction projects, you will be in charge of these operators and machinery. As such, we need to know what they do and their capabilities to be able to deliver an efficient project.
I went to ADFA, did the initial training there and then spent 4 years there studying civil engineering and then came on the Regimental Officers Basic course.
I was riding to uni one day. I was already at RMIT learning civil and infrastructure engineering, just riding my bike past Defence Force recruiting just in Melbourne. And they just had a big undergrad sign up there. Just by chance I was looking across. From there I just researched a little bit and yeah, before I knew it, I was an airfield engineer. There was another service that was a possibility, but from the perception that I was able to get and speaking to other airfield engineers, it just seemed to be a very professional organisation and somewhere where you could develop into a experienced engineer at the end of the process. The undergraduate scheme means that you study at your civilian uni in the current course that I was doing, so civil and infrastructure engineering. But while you're doing that, you're actually in the Air Force itself, so it's similar to how ADFA is set up. However, there's no specific military time during that period, so you just continue to study as normal, except you're employed by the Defence Force.
Yeah, we're accredited by the Institute of Engineers Australia, which is obviously a civilian recognition. Through being in the military, you can still attain your chartered practice of engineers.
The Air Force itself wants to be able to enable its engineers to be able to run projects, and as such they see the benefit in us becoming chartered practicing engineers. And not only that, we're able to liaise with civilian organisations better from being able to have that basis. Having gone from the start to the end of a project and constructing an airfield, at the end it did feel quite surreal in the fact that from a vacant piece of land, you've got a plane coming in just based on your specification. In the end, it was quite rewarding, but a little bit stressful at the time.
Yeah, going from the initial stages and having an idea and then seeing that develop and then actually function properly, it's very appealing. It's an interesting lifestyle. You're always learning something new, going to new places. I got to go on a trip overseas to Indonesia. We visited the Air Force Academy over there. They spent a week over here and we went for a week over there with them, and yeah, got to see the Indonesian Air Force, which was interesting, and see all their different training techniques. And then we had such a good time and they enjoyed us being there that they invited us back again 6 months later for their graduation. So we got to go there and see their graduation parade and meet the President of Indonesia. It's pretty interesting.